Why should you build a disabilities ministry? We know that God does not show favoritism. The gospel does not discriminate. When Jesus walked the earth, he extended his love to a man who was born blind in John 9. He extended healing to a man who was paralyzed in Luke 5. He reached out to those who were disabled. As we imitate Christ and reach out to people with disabilities and their families, we need to realize that caregiving families are less apt to attend church due to physical exhaustion or fear of disturbing those around them or feeling unwelcomed. In fact, nearly 50% of families with disabilities say they do not attend church because they do not feel included or welcomed. These are the very families that need to be embraced, supported, and shown the gospel through a disabilities ministry. We want to support the parents with biblical truths like James 1:16-17 says, that God gives good gifts even when they come in unexpected packages of a disabled child. As the church, we should biblically help navigate through this with them. What is the goal of disabilities ministry? To give the person with a disability access to the gospel in a way that they can understand, and to lovingly care for their family who is likely weary. What are the steps of building a disabilities ministry? Gather an interested team of servants who have a heart for children with disabilities. No prior experience is needed. You can do this through your church bulletin or announcements or even your church webpage. Step 2, hosting a training or inquiry meeting. This is where Guidelight comes in. They have a large selection of pre-recorded video training modules where a speaker explains relevant topics that are only 3 to 8 minutes long that you can show at your meeting. For example, you could show one video that explains the purpose of having a disabilities ministry and another that focuses on a unique disability like autism. This does two things. It shows the people how to access and use Guidelight resources. From there, the people can access the learning videos on their own that are relevant to their assigned child. I should also invite the Sunday school teachers and the nursery workers to these meetings so they can be cross-trained. It's important that our children with disabilities are understood by everyone who is serving them on the team. Step 3, set up a schedule that pairs a shadow or a buddy with a child. Ideally, it's nice to have 2 shadows that alternate Sundays for each child. Why 2 shadows? Because consistency is important in any teaching situation, but especially important with kids with disabilities. They are usually doubly challenged with change. Also, because every shadow is spiritually pouring out, they need to be spiritually poured into, so rotation accomplishes these goals. Step 4, how will the shadow know what to do? The ministry leader will have each parent fill out an intake form that explains their child's needs, their likes, dislikes, triggers. My intake form is a hyperlink from our church website to a Google form I created that goes directly to my email. I make sure each shadow reads it in advance. I then attach a printed copy to the child's notebook. They each have their own personal notebook that is kept in the classroom. The shadows can write notes in a notebook of the child's successes and failures for continuity of care. This also allows the entire team, including the Sunday school teacher or nursery workers, to read about how the child needs to be best served. For example, we have a child in the nursery who has some sensory needs. When they play a certain music video, something on the TV scares him, so the shadow will remove him from the room or change the music video. The shadow keeps the nursery staff informed so everyone can be part of giving loving care in Jesus' name. Now the nursery staff knows that when this child is present, not to play those videos. Another idea is some larger ministries keep either a box or a backpack of favorite items at the church labeled with their student's name on it, so the shadow can utilize the contents with each child or just use the items the parent sends in the child's backpack. We have shadows work with students by sitting with them in Sunday school, assisting them through age-appropriate classes so they can access the gospel. We have shadows with students in the nursery. This is especially helpful to parents and siblings who are so tired when their children are young. We have shadow sit with kids in the main service. The shadow may need to supply noise-canceling headphones during worship or take the child out if they get restless and play with them in the lobby. truly, each shadow customizes what they do to suit the need of the child. So these are just a few ideas of how your church can start a special needs ministry, which would be such a blessing to those families who would utilize it.